Grind does.
Win or go home. Ole Miss, Oregon. Lindsey Grind to Jaden Pone with a first pitch a little too tall. It is 8:36 local on this Friday, May the 30th from Oklahoma City. Splendid, splendid night for some Elimination Day softball. Had not played the field the last couple of days after being hit in the face with a line drive. And Ole Miss gets a base runner.
It just looked like a routine play for the Gold Glover at shortstop, who we talked about, but forces the throw on Riley McCoy over at first base. Not a great stretch. She could have stretched more toward right field a little bit more with that left leg as she stretched to catch it, but a great way to start this elimination game. You know nerves are flowing on both sides of the field right now.
It's McCoy's second error of the year. And a base runner for Lair Boutte. It takes down and away. It's Aaron Peterson, the plate umpire today. Chad Steers at first, Marty Abzishin at second, Jim Bertuzzi at third. That's down low to Boutte, who is one of 6 seniors in the Ole Miss starting lineup. Yesterday, Ole Miss had just 2 hits in the 6th inning from the 8 and 9 spots, and no other base runners against the electric Nyjah Kennedy. Boutte takes another one down, and it's 3-0 from Lindsey Grind. And her freshman catcher, Emma Cox, just 5 pitches in, comes to the circle.
Yeah, Lindsey Grind is going to be known for her rise ball. She likes to throw this pitch on multiple different levels, all the way from the knees up to the eyes. She can throw it on both sides of the plate, like we saw last night against UCLA. Backward rotation, then also mix in a drop ball that she's thrown more this year with working with Missy Lombardi, the head coach of the Oregon Ducks, and also the pitching coach. That rise ball she throws at 70% of the time, and hitters are only hitting 176 off of the rise.
96 pitches yesterday, 5+ innings, gave up 2 runs, 5 hits, walked and struck out 2 each in a 4-2 walk-off loss to UCLA. 3-1 for Boutte.
Time.
We'll wait.
You know, if I was in an elimination game tonight, I would want to be the hitting first. I would want to be the visiting team and not the home team, because I would want an opportunity to come out fast and to put runs on the board early and put pressure on the other team.
It's leveled out of play. It's 3-2. Well, Ole Miss again got nothing going until the 6th yesterday. Angelina De Leon and Taylor Malvin, the 8 and 9 hitters, were the only base runners. 0 for 18, 10 strikeouts for Jamie Traxel's top 7. But this is her lineup. It's the same lineup it was yesterday. It's been a very similar lineup throughout most of the postseason run, and she's sticking with her 9. So it's a strikeout, and then bizarrely, Pone makes it to second.
Look at this pitch by Lindsey Grind. This is her rise ball, her bread and butter. She goes inside to Boutte to be able to get her a rise ball through the zone. And then Emmett Cox catches Pone out in no man's land, but they still can't get her out. They let her trickle back to second base. Way too many steps and then threw too late, but there was going to be obstruction on Sinicki anyway, and she would have been able to get to second. Somehow Pone got left out to dry in between first and second and still makes it into scoring position, which is why right now Oregon's going to come together and talk about what just happened, get on the same page, understanding in an elimination game how important it is to keep the visiting team in the first inning off the board.
This is a pretty shocking start for Oregon, which came into the tournament with the 3rd best fielding percentage in the country, 981. An error against McCoy, and then not an error, it's officially deemed a steal for Pone, though it could have been an error because of obstruction. It's a defensive mistake by Cox. 2 straight defensive mistakes for Missy Lombardi's team. So a runner at second, here is Aaliyah Binford, who has carried Ole Miss through this postseason. Binford takes a low strike.
That's an off-speed pitch, too, that Lindsey Grind will work in there. We talked about her drop down. We talked about her rise ball, but that changeup going to be important against these Ole Miss hitters tonight.
Lindsey Grind so adept at working at different levels. Jumps ahead of Binford 0-2. Off speed down and away. Up and in on her hands with the rise. That's in the dirt. It gets through the wickets of Cox. Pone gets to third with only one out.
It's going to go down as a wild pitch through the wickets of Emma Cox right under her glove. Just something a little bit off here with the Oregon defense to start this game.
20th wild pitch of the year by Grind. Certainly looked blockable for Cox, though. 1-2 is up and away. So 3 miscues for Oregon to open the game, and now Binford, who's 55 RBIs, are the most in a season in Ole Miss history. And she hits one right to Sinicki at short. A low riser for the second out. So Grind is 2/3 of the way there, as she'll get the freshman Percy Yamas looking for his her first hit on the World Series stage after an 0-for-3 yesterday. Percy Yamas is in the middle of a really, really special freshman year. A great day for a duck roast, they're saying in the Ole Miss fans section, the always animated Rebels fans. Percy Yamas, the all-SEC freshman with 3 home runs here in the tournament. Takes one in the dirt, and that one stopped nicely by Cox.
And this year I've been really impressed with Percy Yamas and just calmness at the plate for a freshman.
We asked her the other day about her mind in a big moment. She said, and I quote, "It's blank." Doesn't like watching film. Feels like it'll overstimulate her. Just gets up there, has an idea, and doesn't straight up hack either. As Lexi Brady takes ball 2. Percy Yamas has only struck out 11 times. Well, she is an intelligent hitter, and she has delivered the first run ever for Ole Miss at the World Series. Now a strike to Brady.
Well, and I liked it when her teammates were talking about her too. They call her the calm before the storm, because she is so calm up at bat, but then the storm with her bat and her clutchness coming through for her team.
Brady gets a piece of this one to short, and that ends the inning. An error, a wild pitch, a miscue on a steal. Already in the hole. Kyler Shar will try to help them dig out. She'll take ball 1. A surprisingly down day for the Ducks yesterday. Caitlin Terry pitched brilliantly for UCLA, giving up just 2 runs, 1 earned. Oregon had 4 hits and no walks in 7 innings. You want to beat the Ducks, you got to beat Lou Shar, and Terry neutralized her to the tune of 0-for-3 with 2 strikeouts. Batting on the 75-degree clear night. Humidity not much of an issue. Clear skies. Gorgeous, gorgeous softball weather.
You mentioned it, but a huge part of Oregon's offense is their speed game, especially up at the top, down at the bottom of their order too. They have a ton of speed that they want to be able to get on, take extra bases, and put pressure on this Ole Miss defense tonight.
2-1 for Kai. I believe you call that an information pitch if you're a pitcher.
It's telling you something. I don't know where that missed. That looked like it caught the bottom of the zone to me.
And Peterson thought a little bit.
It's just a prime example of what speed can do to you, because Lansdale is all over this ground ball, gets to it quickly, but it's the transfer and just thinking ahead, just worrying about the throw before she even has the ball in her throwing hand, just misses the transfer, bobble. And when speed is on and in the back of your mind as a defender, it causes you to make mistakes like that.
Ensdell stays in for Kedri Lushar. Kai was on the run. She'll make it to second. Her sister is out at first on the ground out to Pickens. So the Ducks get a runner to second quickly on a swinging bunt by the All-American. Well, here's Riley McCoy, who's trying to make up for that missed catch error in the first inning. 2 strikeouts, 0 for 3 in her World Series debut yesterday. And we have another timing violation.
Illegal pitch, 1-0 count.
I believe that's our 3rd timing violation of the World Series. 22nd pitch clock. Lopez didn't throw in time, so she starts behind an automatic ball. And her first actual pitch makes it 2-0. Freshman McCoy has burst onto the scene in Eugene. Had a great tournament as well. Couple of homers. There's an off-speed strike 1.
Well, a big shift is on her with Mackenzie Pickens, the second baseman, playing more toward the shortstop side, right next to her actual shortstop, Angelina De Leon. And then Percy Amas pulled off of the first base bag in between first and second. Big pull shift on McCoy, who has a lot of center field power. Looking at her spray chart, she's hit a ton of home runs this year. Most of them have been toward the middle of the field, a couple toward right field, and several toward the pull side. But this is a freshman who can drop bombs like nobody's business. I mean, the way that she has stepped up as a freshman with hard work, dedication to this team has been something special to watch.
They weren't sure if and when she'd return to the lineup this postseason. Super Regional finale against Stanford. McCoy was hit in the face with a line drive. Left that game, missed game 1 of the Super Regional, but returned for the game 2 win. A 3-2 for her here. And McCoy waits back on that changeup. Popped up to Yamas in foul ground. Kylu Shar's going to go to third on a foul pop out to first. And the Ducks have a runner there, but Ole Miss has the first 2 outs.
Well, because of the shift, Yamas had to track that down and cover almost the same amount of ground as like an outfielder, because she was in between first and second, and then also had to avoid the first base umpire down the line. So look at her drop step, track this down, feel the umpire there, and know that, okay, she's got a lot of speed. I'm not going to make that unnecessary throw. It's a good call by the freshman.
Now Jamie Traxel's out before a pitch to Paige Sinicki. The Ole Miss head coach has taken Ole Miss to the World Series for the first time. She took Minnesota to the World Series for the first time in 2019. Ninth coach ever to take 2 different programs to the World Series. Jamie Traxel. It's Ole Miss team that was picked 14th out of 15 in the SEC. Here they are in OKC. Strike 1 bends into Paige Sinicki, who scored the tying run in the 7th inning yesterday. Hoping this will not be the end of an exceptional career. Her 192nd consecutive start at shortstop.
And if I'm Sinicki with a runner at third base, looks like a little bit of confusion with the wristband here, but I know that error went down on Riley McCoy, but Sinicki is probably thinking about that throw in the back of her mind that led off the game, that was just not on target, led to a base runner that would have come around to score, probably in the
right read there, do you think, by Lushar at third?
Yeah, definitely, especially with somebody like Des Patman coming up, not wanting to run into an out, catching the corners off guard, playing back against Sinicki.
Let's see if Oregon puts Sinicki in. Paige Sinicki has her 31st steal of the year and Oregon's 173rd.
Des Patman, my goodness, have yourself an NCAA tournament.
It's Des Patman with a couple of walk-off hits in the supers and the regional, puts the Ducks on top.
Pressure maybe at first. And then once you, I think, get through the first one, then you start to settle in and not feel like the end of your season is just around the corner, and you settle into being comfortable in the elimination games.
Strike from Lindsey Grind and Mackenzie Pickens. And hey, these are a couple of teams that are already comfortable in elimination games. They've had to play multiple such games to get here. Swing and a miss by Pickens, 1 and 2. Oregon's already won 3 elimination games, all in the regional round. Had to beat Stanford twice on Super Regional Sunday after losing to Stanford on, I should say, Regional Sunday. And something's got to give here, because we mentioned Oregon in the open. They're 8-0 after a loss. Ole Miss all time after being shut out in the tournament, 5-0. So somebody's going to make the wrong kind of history tonight.
This game can't end at a tie, right? Like, somebody has to lose, right?
As far as I know, I haven't consulted the official rule book on ties yet. I've been too busy looking at the section on runners lifting their foot off the base when they try to steal.
And what happens when the lights go out?
That's also the next page of the rule book. It's weird how they're next to each other. I believe there does have to be a winner, yes. Popped up by Pickens. McCoy waving off. The second baseman Jones makes the catch. Jimmy Traxel's Ole Miss team in the World Series. Mentioned it earlier, the 9th head coach to take 2 programs here after playing at Division II St. Cloud State. Made her way through the coaching ranks. North Dakota State, head coach there for 6 years, 1 at Iowa State, 3 at Minnesota, and now her 5th at Ole Miss. Ashton Lansdowne, one of her seniors, quickly in the hole. Lansdowne, the former college baseball player who's in her first year at Ole Miss. Played a year of junior college baseball. Georgia Highlands College. We get a home run their way. The fans out in center field. Bleachers are packed tonight for day 2. 2-2 for Lansdowne.
That's a great take, too, right there, with how many times Ole Miss is swinging at this rise ball and swinging underneath it. Lindsey Grind is really locating that pitch lower in the zone. Great take there, though, for her to recognize that that one was going to continue to ride out of the zone.
And she takes strike 3. Second of the game for Lindsey Grind.
And so this is a pitch that you just don't see very often. A rise ball that is low and on the outside corner, and it's tough to pick up. So it has that backward rotation. She gets underneath it and gets the top of the zone on the outside corner. Again, a low rise ball like that Grind can spin like that to right-handed hitters. You just don't see it very much.
What makes it such a difficult pitch to pick up?
It's a little bit risky to throw that outside pitch that's more up in the zone on the outside corner, because oftentimes hitters recognize that and barrel it up, but it's just a tough pitch to locate to get underneath it on that side of the plate. You'll see pitchers that oftentimes rise ball pitchers that have a tendency to throw more toward their arm side, so inside to right-handed hitters. It's just a tricky arm position to get underneath that pitch and locate it like that to the outside corner.
She's behind Angelina De Leon, 2-0. The All-American Grind. She told us it took a lot of work to get her rise ball right. She said, nothing has really ever come easy to me athletically. Didn't start pitching until she was 11. Learned the rise when she was 16. But it is a super weapon now.
And she said that they would just, with her dad and her sister who would catch her, would just sit in the basement and practice over and over and over again. And it just took a lot of work for her to get that spin. Not only does she throw with good velocity in the upper 60s, she has tremendous spin on that pitch.
Oh, that's picked cleanly by McCoy. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Lindsey Grind.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Stealing on the first pitch, went to third on a foul out to first. And I love this quote from the movie Air, which I heard Taylor talk about. The team was inspired by one of the rules of Nike, which is, of course, an Oregon-based company. We're on offense all the time. That's how they think. And it's how they won the Big Ten and got to 53-9.
Well, and I think, too, just their coaching staff really feeling comfortable in their roles the past couple of years. And Sydney Romero being a current player as a professional in Athletes Unlimited, being able to be in the dugout and talk to the hitters right before they go on deck, get in their mind, talk about their plan. This is a key, they're all key coaches on this staff, but a key reason why they just wanted to more so define their roles with Sam Martyr over at third base as their, I'd say, main hitting coach, and Sydney Romero and Alyssa Palomino Cardoza also playing a huge role collectively as a staff to get this offense where it needs to be. And then Missy Lombardi freed her up to be able to manage the pitchers, call the game, and just focus on them. But more defined roles for Oregon this year with their coaching staff has paid off offensively. That is
Alyssa. You saw one of 3 multi-time All-Americans on the staff. She's over at first. Sam Martyr down at third. 4-pitch walk started the inning for Emma Cox. And Katie Flannery swings through strike one. You know, just because you're a good coach, player, doesn't mean you'll be a good coach. But the 3 coaches under Missy Lombardi here were not just good players. They were great players. They were great power hitters as well. Flannery pops up a bunt. That's the second popped bunt out of the game as Yamas crashed out. So one away for Ayanna Shaw.
In these bunt situations, Brie Lopez has done a really good job of spinning the ball more up in the zone. No more for her curveball and her changeup, but Nancy Evans, talk about the coaching staff for Oregon, but the coaching staff for Ole Miss with their pitching coach, Nancy Evans, a great pitch caller. So in those bunt situations, she's getting Brie Lopez to spin the ball a little bit more up in the zone. It creates those more pop-up bunts. That was a big out for Brie Lopez to help herself out, execute that pitch, and not let Oregon advance the runner to second base.
Just saw another failed bunt attempt from Shaw. Did not start yesterday. Swings away here, out to left center. Taylor Malvin retires her. What is the best way for an offense that hits for power but has a lot of bunters? What is the best way to attack a pitcher who's going to be more of an up spinner?
Yeah, when you're bunting against them, you start your bunt and your barrel at a certain height, and as soon as you see that the ball is coming out of the hand at anything higher than where your barrel starts, you want to be able to pull back or have an understanding, okay, if it starts here, it's likely going to ride out of the zone. You don't want to go for those pitches that are up in the zone in a bunt situation, knowing you could easily pop it up and just not be a productive out. And that's something that Oregon did so well, is have productive outs in the first inning to be able to advance their base runners, and a large reason why they scored those 2 runs.
Bouchard scored the first of the 2. Ball and a strike for Kai. Her 64th run, which tied the Oregon record. Iseo 2014, Susie Barnes 2007. Foul tip, strike 2.
And Taylor talked about how Sam Marder felt like they started a little bit slow, and Missy Lombardi in her post-game press conference said that we talked a lot about this year about start fast, stay fast, and finish fast. And she felt like they started a little bit slow in the game yesterday, and she said, I think you're gonna see them start fast tomorrow. And they did, answering right back after Ole Miss put that one run on the board in the top of the inning.
Said she loved the fight. And that's a group that's been waiting all year to be in this moment. But again, the fight was a little late with a tying run in the 7th or giving up walk-off homer to Jessica Clemens. Richard left and out of play.
That's my experience here on this field is so invaluable for your program. This field can just swallow you up if you are not prepared, if you let the nerves take over, if you don't get rid of those nerves quickly. You have to be able to move on, especially after you lose your first game.
Richard with all her speed just trying to put it in play, and she does to the left side, and she is out. Angelina De Leon with a cannon from short. Snapped the tie with Auburn's S.J. Guerin for the most games pitched in the country yesterday. So today's number 52. She'd pick up a 30th win with a victory. She'd be the 4th pitcher to do that, the 5th instance of a 30-game winner in Oregon. The last, Sheridan Hawkins, 10 years. That's twice in the game to lead off an inning.
We are definitely seeing the most nerves out on defense. This is such a grab by Katie Flannery. That ball was basically behind her, and she got her glove to still be able to field the ground ball. And you can see Grind communicating to McCoy saying, let it go. Have to be able to move forward. Second time that McCoy has not been able to catch a throw from the left side of her infield. Look at Grind, being a leader, talking to her. That's a freshman she's talking to. And look, in the hug. Oh, I love that. But as a pitcher, honestly, you're like kind of mad because you're like, wait, I just threw an out and you just made an error and we should have an out in this inning. But look at the leadership of Grind going to her freshman and talking to her, trying to calm her down. I think Missy Lombardi making sure that she's okay. Kind of an uncharacteristic mistake by McCoy, just checking to make sure after her injury that she is indeed okay and able to play and see the ball okay from her infielders.
You can see there the bruise on the nose. Remember, this is her first game in the field in 2 weeks. Hit by a line drive in the face against Stanford in the regional final. She was an all Big Ten defensive team selection, had only made 1 error on the year in her first 46 starts at first. 2 tonight, and Ole Miss has the leadoff runner on for the second time. Pone was the first base runner to reach on an error. And Pone drops down a bunt. Flannery from a knee, not in time to first. That's a bunt base hit for the all-SEC left fielder. And the Rebels have the first 2 on.
We talked about bunting off of Brie Lopez and her going more up in the zone, trying to get the pop-up. And Lindsey Grind, a rise ball pitcher, and Pone able to get the top of the ball to put it down. And then use her speed to get down the line. Kind of a push bunt, too. Flannery is so quick over at third base, but you could see from that side angle that Pone, knowing that Flannery was going to charge hard in a bunt situation, tried to push it past her, and Flannery still got it. Made a really athletic play to field it through on her knees.
Ruling on the field was the runner was safe at first base. Oregon is challenging that ruling. The previous play is under further review.
Marty Abzushin informing us it's the first Oregon challenge. Teams have 2 challenges per game. Starting in the 6th inning, you can call for a crew chief review. See if Missy has a case.
I think this one's got to stand.
It's Jones, the second baseman, covering. And that's not enough to overturn. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I think that this one will stay as is, personally.
Jamie Traxel's already calling her safe before Jaden got to the base.
After review, the ruling on first is upheld. The runner is safe. That is Oregon's first challenge of the ball game.
So Malvin, the 9-hitter, and Pone, the leadoff hitter, are on. And they're going hair-spinning mad in the Ole Miss dugout with a third-inning rally on a couple of balls on the ground to third.
And again, Pone was reading how hard Katie Flannery, the third baseman, has been charging. Look at her pull her barrel back and then push through it as well, trying to get that bunt more past Flannery and put it in a perfect position in between Grind and Flannery. Great barrel control by Jaden Pone to put that ball exactly where she wanted to, get the top half of the ball and put pressure on Oregon's defense to make a play.
Missy Lombardi is making a mid-inning defensive substitution. Stephanie Maake, who started at first base yesterday, is coming in for Riley McCoy. And Des Patman, who was the designated player, goes out to right. So that knocks Ayanna Shaw out of the game for the time being. And Riley McCoy will go to the designated player spot. Two errors by McCoy, and then after the ensuing bunt single, she moves out of the field, stays in the lineup against Maake in the 9 spot for Shaw, and Patman goes into the field to play right. So here's Lair Boutte. Will it be another bunt situation? It will. Boutte pulled back on ball 1. First pitch balls now to 9 out of 11 hitters by Lindsey Grind. Boutte does not have a sacrifice bunt this year. And she's in a 2-0 count. See, nobody was covering second there. He saw Sinicki wheeling behind to third. Malvin and Pone, very good runners. Boutte takes a strike. Throw through from Cox is a little late.
Emma Cox has such a beautiful throw down to second base, and she is so quick. Throws from her knees. Her transfer is so quick. Glove goes to bare hand, quickly gets the ball to her throwing hand. I mean, her throw is so beautiful.
3-1 count now on Lair Boutte. Cox trying to pump her pitcher up. Freshman, the latest in a strong line of Oregon catchers. Boutte not bunting anymore, and she's in a full count.
Actually ran through the ball, or ran through the box, showing a slap. Trying to get the ball on the ground and try to advance these runners. Flannery has been tested in this inning over and over again, and now she gets to turn a double play, hit right to her, touch 3, throw all the way across the diamond, plenty of time. That is a major out when Ole Miss has been putting pressure on this defense. They needed those 2 outs. What a turn in this inning.
Pone, the only runner now at second, and here's Aaliyah Binford, their RBI leader. Binford pops the first pitch out of play.
That's why that bunt attempt was going to be so important, to be able to advance those runners 60 feet. Instead, it turns into a double play. No execution on that. Not a productive out.
Binford left center, a rising liner right to Kedri Luchar. A wild third inning, because what can't they do? Kedry batting against Brie Lopez now. Also told us one time she made a half-court shot and got $100. So sometimes it was a nickel, sometimes it was a quarter, and sometimes it was a half-court shot for a whole lot of nickels.
Well, I'll tell you what, they got all these different instances of being competitive and something on the line, wanting to earn it, wanting to get it. I mean, how cute is this picture? And all the pictures that they sent in, I absolutely love them. But these are sisters who grew up calf roping, barrel racing, team roping, ribbon running. I don't even know what ribbon running is, but they did it. And all these different athletic things that turn them into the athletes and the competitors that they are here at the World Series.
And Kedry Lushar's journey has continued at Oregon. She's just burst onto the scene out of nowhere this year. An All-American after really being a part-time player her first 3 years. Kedry only started 32 games her first 3 seasons. She started 59 this year, hitting .443. As she lofts a ball high into right center for Lair Boutte. So Brie Lopez has the leadoff out in the third against this very dangerous portion of the Duck lineup. Riley McCoy staying in the game even though she was taken out of the field. See her taking a deep breath in a game where she's committed 2 missed catch errors at first.
Really aggressive early in the count. This is a hitter who has really worked to get everything that she's gotten. She wasn't a starter in travel ball with Mike Stith's Batbusters team. We've heard a lot about them. A lot of players end up here at the World Series. Mike Stith, one of the best travel ball coaches in the country, and that Batbuster organization. And so she wanted to come in and prove what she can do and put in the hard work. She has been so coachable, Sam Marder told us. Always there, always working on her craft.
Got off to a great start this season in the early season Mary Nutter Classic. She went 7 for 16 with 4 homers. Oregon went 5-0 in that competition. Two and 2 from Brie Lopez here. No earned runs against Lopez. A couple of unearned in the first inning after an error by Lansdell. McCoy runs it full. 19 homers, tied an Oregon record. Second best slugging percentage in a season in Duck history. A 3-2. Ball is outside. Riley McCoy with their 19th walk of the year. And the Ducks have their second of the game. Now here's Paige Sinicki, who singled, stole a base, and scored in that first inning. Senior from Henderson.